It's easy come, easy go with ALSG next.
I am Elan Donan Castle on the shores of Loch Alsh. I am the proud regiment of the Queen's Household Cavalry. I am the words of Jane Austen. I am the footsteps of William Shakespeare along the River Avon. I am a tradition that has always been. I am the warmth and smiles of an island people. I am the airline that never forgets you have a choice. I am the best of Great Britain. I am British Caledonian Airways.
I've never seen anything like it. It was just, I don't know, we don't have that in Tulsa.
Each spring and summer, students and teachers from all parts of the United States study and travel in Europe under the sponsorship of ALSG.
Easy come and easy go. Easy come, easy go. Yes, it's easy come and easy go.
Well over 100,000 people have traveled with ALSG during the last 2 decades, representing over 1 billion passenger miles.
Easy come and easy go. Easy come, easy go. Yes, it's easy come and easy go.
Students usually receive academic credit for their coursework done overseas and enjoy contact with an international and dynamic teaching faculty.
Easy come and easy go. Easy come, easy go. Yes, it's easy come and easy go.
ALSG has its offices in Worcester, Massachusetts, and provides a year-round program of support for teachers and academic enrichment for students.
Easy come and easy go. Easy go. Yes, it's easy come and easy
The events documented by this videotape are all real. So are the students shown, their teachers, and ALSG's overseas staff.
Easy come and easy go. Easy come, yes, it's easy come and
There at your left is Oxford Street, famous shopping street. It's got 282 shoe shops.
easy come and easy go.
There is only one ALSG.
Okay, my name's Karen Juergens, and I'm a teacher counselor with ALSG, and this is the first time I've gone with ALSG. Right now we're in Stratford, and we're visiting the birthplace of William Shakespeare. And I'm very impressed so far with the tour. I think it's exceptionally well done. It's very educational, and that's one thing I'm really impressed by, because I have traveled with another group, and they weren't at all going into any kind of details and educational places like we are here. I'm learning so much, and I'm really, really impressed. And my kids are really enjoying themselves. They've had nothing but good reports so far, and it's just terrific educationally, and I'm just very impressed with the program. especially with our courier. He's just so fabulous, being a history professor from Oxford. I mean, you couldn't have better than that to begin with. He's giving us so many educational points, so many stories, and so much history behind everything, things that we'd never know. And it's just fabulous. It's like being really almost in a live classroom, only, you know, on the scene itself, learning as we go along. So it's just fabulous. I just couldn't be happier with it.
But second, and this is the vital rule, if you break the law, in England ever since then, in America since the 18th century, you must be tried by a jury of your equals. You don't get tried in private by the king or by a baron or somebody. It has to be in public, in a court of law, and the verdict is determined by a jury. That was absolutely new at the time, and it was put together on Runnymede in 1215. And who was the person who suggested it, who invented it? Well, it was King John himself. Wicked, evil, bad King John. Because he was now so keen to make a real partnership with his people. He had this great idea to provide real justice. And so this villain we're all learning to hate is actually the man who gave us our system of justice in the West. And that's why we remember it. We're almost there now. We're about to go through the gates in a couple of minutes. I'll ask you to start looking out for a number of monuments. 3 of them on the left-hand side of the Great Meadow. We're not quite there yet. All 3 of them are directly connected with America.
I think it's equivalent to 5 units of social studies. Now, social studies teachers don't want to hear you say that, but the experience of just living it is something they can't get in the classroom. And I believe in the program so much I sent both of my children. They've both done it. I'll offer my services as a teacher and counselor as long as I'm physically able to keep up with the kids. So that somebody else's children will have the same opportunity that mine did in the past.
Well, we're at Camden Lock at the moment, and all my kids have gone round there looking at all the stalls. They're quite excited about this area because it's a very typically English area. And behind us we have a violinist playing. And this is where, it's called Camden Lock, and this is where a lot of young people come every Saturday and Sunday to buy all the sort of trendy clothes they like. And in England at the moment, everybody's in sort of second-hand clothes, 50s and 60s styles. And this is where everybody congregates on Saturday and Sunday to buy them. And there's lots of very nice little cafes and stores where you can get something to eat or drink. And there's a whole canal system behind us. So it's a very relaxed atmosphere, and it's quite possible to spend just the whole day here.
Fairly well, my fairy fay. I'm off to Louisiana for to see Miss Louisiana singing Bye-bye Diddle-all Day.
Having read history and history of art at university, I really enjoy telling people about all the things that I've had the opportunity to learn. I love going to Versailles, I like going to Munich, and expressing all the ideas that I've had the fortune in the past few months to accumulate. It's great fun to do that, it's very satisfying. I enjoy meeting all the different types of Americans from the South, from the East Coast, from the West. Everybody's quite different. Each tour is quite different, nothing's the same. So it's constantly changing and you're constantly being refreshed yourself. And by going with foreigners and by going with Americans and different people to Europe, it enhances your own experience because you're getting a new dimension and you see their reactions to a European experience. And it's great fun and you appreciate it even more.
Now, on these elements, they then construct the stone arches. So the stone arches, let's come outside again, are like this. From my arm onto his arm domed onto his arm. So I'm the stained glass inside, and the weight of the roof is brought over my head from arm to arm. Now, let's pretend that I am the very considerable weight of the roof inside. Are you ready? Now, my weight doesn't disappear. My weight is carried in their arms, and you saw what was happening. Their shoulders were buckling. So all the problems are out there in the middle of the chests. So this is where the girls give a hand. Come on, 1, 2, 3 around the other side, and 1, 2, 3 on this side. Come on, around this side. Now stand well back. You're going to be these things, look. Flying buttresses.
I mean, we were still nervous. We just left the U.S. and we hadn't gotten used to Germany yet, and we were just really tired by the time we got on the bus. And we didn't get to know people for a while because we were all sticking in our own grooves. But it was fun when we started meeting people.
Calling in the clan. I am the words of Jane Austen. I am the proud regiment of the Queen's household cavalry. I am the warmth and smiles of an island people. I am British Caledonian Airways. I am super executive, a special class of service for the business traveler. I will give you the comfort and service you'd expect from the airline that never forgets you have a choice. I am the best of Great Britain. I am British Caledonian Airways.
I think it made us see some things that we hadn't thought about before, and it really just changed our lives. Do you remember that morning back in the U.S. when Miss Page had that meeting? I guess it was at the morning of the snowstorm. Yes, and there was snow blowing on us. It was so cold. And we just kind of started talking about Europe, and that was after our parents had decided it was okay.
Let's repeat. Tener hambre. Tener sed. Tener calor. Tener razón. No tener razón. Tener suerte. Tener miedo. Tener años. Okay, fine.
So we've talked about the national anthems, and we've talked about, shopping, food, how could I forget it, food. And let's talk about style. Remember I keep telling you how the French lady has, there is nothing prettier than an American woman. I don't care whether any of these gentlemen disagree with me or not. There is nothing quite as pretty as an American woman. There is a freshness of face. You girls will be traveling in Europe, and you'll be on a street in Wiesbaden, and you'll see an American man. He'll come up to you and he'll say, "Hello, you must be from Peoria, whatever, Illinois, because you look so American." And we do. We look very American. You're young, you're pretty, you have a sense of style, you're well scrubbed, you're put together and all the rest. But everybody will know you as an American because you will be wearing the national American uniform, namely jeans. Sarah? Sarah? Sarah?
My name is Rita Couture, and I'm from Lakewood, Colorado, and I've got 14 kids on this trip. I am very impressed with ALS2. I truly am. In my past trips, they were not as well organized, and I feel that in 3 weeks with ALSG, I've seen more than I had seen in 5 weeks with the other groups. I've really loved it.
I think any company is as effective as the people in that company. I've found the people that I work with in ALSG to be bright and spontaneous and good fun, and they have a real, I think, keen sense of the important balance between spontaneity and preparation.
We have, without a doubt, and I've had 2 or 3 other couriers before. I've traveled 3 times before. Twice we had couriers, once we didn't. We have by far the most informed, warm, helpful courier I have ever met.
I want to come back. I have to come back, and I think he had something to do with it.
So art, for many people, for many years, was propaganda. How do you convince people who are illiterate, who live out miles away? How do you tell them who is the emperor, or who is the king, or who is the pope? Or how do you tell them how wonderful the pope is? Well, you simply build a beautiful building.
My final word of advice would be, do it. Don't get caught up in the planning stages. Make it happen, and make it happen with ALSG, and you won't have any disappointments, any complaints at all.
My name is Marion Wash. I live in North Augusta, South Carolina, but I teach across the river in Augusta, Georgia at Richmond Academy, the oldest public high school in the nation. I have with me this year 14 kids. I've taught them for 2 years, and it's just wonderful to see them take what you have done with them in the classroom and expand on it and gain independence, go out on their own, and come back, and you're very proud of them.
What advice would you offer other teachers then?
I would say encourage as many as possible to come with an understanding that they will gain an experience and an awareness that will last a lifetime. That you start feeling a common denominator with the human race on experiences such as this, you know. And I think it's healthy for politics, for culture, and for individual growth and development. You feel better about yourself when you get out and meet the world and see that we're all so basically alike, and yet so different too, in a very nice way.
Great, thanks very much.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like us to ask you?
No, did I do all right?
You're wonderful.
Easy come and easy go. Easy come and easy go.
There is only one ALSG. All prices guaranteed. Departures scheduled from all major U.S. airports. This videotape was shot in England and Europe by Bill Markle.
I am the footsteps of William Shakespeare along the River Avon. I am a once mighty castle on the shores of Loch Ness. I am a thatched cottage in an old English village. I am British Caledonian Airways. I am the first-class way to London. I will serve you the finest European cuisine. You'll enjoy the luxury and comfort of a Skylounger seat and the personal service recognized by many as the finest in the world. I am the best of Great Britain. I am British Caledonian Airways.
There's got to be something more than what we've seen, and we found it on our trip to Europe with ALSG.